Hello everyone, welcome to my channel. Please subscribe and hit the bell icon. Young and restless Ashley is headed to Fairview and you won't believe who she'll see there. Ashley's alters are desperately afraid of being sent to Fairview, but we're pretty sure that's exactly where they and their vessel are headed. What's surprising is the identity of the young and restless character she may end up with as a roomie. As Ashley's alternate personalities battled it out amongst themselves, the one thing they could agree on was that they didn't want Ashley to end up being sent off to Fairview, and with good reason. The dreaded dissociative identity disorder will be dealt with there, and the alters, who are sure they're the only ones who can keep Ashley safe, will cease to exist. The situation had reached a critical point, with Jack and Billy having to physically bar Ashley from leaving the Abbott mansion when the frantic Jubbit CEO was finally able to reach Sharon, Geno City's go-to therapist, despite the fact that she runs a tech company and a coffee house. Sharon was on the scene within minutes, scribbling notes, providing guidance, and looking like $1 million to boot. After Ashley was taken upstairs to rest, Billy confessed to the distressed group that he once had a run-in with the pesky did disorder and opened up about the dark turn his life took as a result. He suspected that Ashley was suffering from the same condition, given she had been referring to herself in the third person and having memory blackouts. How incredibly convenient to have a family member who had alternate personalities of his own really helps to speed up the diagnosis. While Billy beat off his alters in a sweaty both-house battle, Ashley, we'd think, will be bundled up and driven off to Fairview, where she can heal with the help of Sharon-vetted professionals. After all, what better recommendation for the place than that the therapist was once admitted there herself? But as any longtime young and restless viewer will tell you, one doesn't go to Fairview and just quietly do the work to heal. No. Drama must ensue. If there's not a creepy attendant who is out to get you, then you get a questionable roommate. The most likely person to encounter there is the notorious Patty Williams, sister of former Chief of Police Paul, and ex-wife, stalker, and attempted murderer of Ashley's brother Jack. Fortunately for Ash, the last we heard about Patty Cakes, she was in a different facility called Rivercrest. Well, with Victor and Nikki's anniversary party about to provide yet another showdown between the Newmans and Jordan, it could be Claire's crazy aunt who lands in the bed next to the beleaguered Abbott. This is a soap opera, so we can totally imagine Jordan being declared criminally insane and sent to Fairview, and its hallowed hallways of padded rooms rather than back to the state pen. Of course, it's more likely that Jordan will end up behind bars or even dead, which brings us to another possible roommate for Ash. We're convinced Jordan isn't acting alone and suspect Claire may be her accomplice. Find out why here. When Jordan's plan to hurt the Newmans goes down during the anniversary party, Claire will play a role. Which way the pendulum will swing remains to be seen, but if our hunch is correct, it could be Victoria's daughter who ends up needing some serious rehabilitation far beyond what Memorial's mental health wing can provide. If Ashley and Claire end up as roomies at Fairview, and a strengthening Ashley takes her under her wing, it could be the young woman's only hope of winning back the trust of Geno City residents. Stay tuned. In the bustling city of Geno City, where secrets whispered in one corner could spark wildfires in another, the air thrummed with anticipation as rumors swirled about the latest development in the lives of its residents. At the heart of this whirlwind was Ashley Abbott, a woman whose name echoed through the halls of Jabba Cosmetics like a hymn, her presence commanding attention wherever she went. Yet it wasn't her business prowess or her impeccable sense of style that had tongues wagging this time. No, it was the unexpected turn her journey was about to take as she found herself on a path that would lead her far from the familiar streets of Geno City to a place shrouded in mystery and intrigue, Fairview. Ashley Abbott was no stranger to adversity. She had weathered storms that would have shattered lesser souls, emerging each time with an unwavering strength that seemed to defy the odds. But nothing could have prepared her for the shock that awaited her in Fairview, a quaint town nestled amidst rolling hills and lush greenery, seemingly untouched by the chaos of the outside world. As Ashley stepped out of her car and onto the cobblestone streets of Fairview, she couldn't shake the feeling of unease that washed over her. The air seemed charged with a strange energy, and she couldn't help but feel as though she had stepped into a different dimension altogether. Yet there was no turning back now. She had come to Fairview for a reason, and she was determined to see it through. Her first stop was the Fairview Inn, a charming establishment with a history as rich and colorful as the town itself. As Ashley made her way through the lobby, she couldn't help but marvel at the old-world charm that seemed to permeate every corner of the building. It was as though time itself had stood still in Fairview, preserving its beauty for generations to come. But Ashley's awe was short-lived as she caught sight of a familiar face across the room, a face she never expected to see in a place like Fairview. It was none other than Victor Newman, the enigmatic patriarch of the Newman family and a man with whom Ashley shared a complicated history. As their eyes met across the room, Ashley felt a surge of emotions wash over her, anger, resentment, but also a strange sense of longing that she couldn't quite explain. Victor, ever the master of control, approached Ashley with a smile that didn't quite reach his eyes. Well, he said, his voice dripping with sarcasm. What brings you to Fairview, Ashley? Business or pleasure? Ashley bristled at his tone but forced herself to remain composed. I could ask you the same question, Victor, she replied coolly, but something tells me we're not here for the same reasons. Before Victor could respond, a voice interrupted them from across the room. Ashley, is that really you? Ashley turned to see another familiar face, Dr. Simon Neville, a brilliant scientist whose paths had crossed with hers in the most unexpected of ways. As memories of their past encounters flooded back to her, Ashley couldn't help but feel a sense of nostalgia for the time when their lives had been intertwined, if only for a brief moment. Simon, she said, unable to hide the surprise in her voice. What are you doing here? Dr. Neville smiled warmly at her, his eyes twinkling with amusement. I could ask you the same question, he said, his British accent sending shivers down Ashley's spine, but I suppose some things are best left unsaid. As Ashley and Dr. Neville exchanged pleasantries, Victor looked on with a mixture of curiosity and suspicion. There was clearly more to their relationship than met the eye, and he was determined to uncover the truth, whatever it took. But before Victor could delve any deeper, a commotion erupted from the other side of the room. It was Nikki Newman, Victor's long-suffering wife and a force to be reckoned with in her own right. As she made her way towards them, her eyes locked onto Ashley with an intensity that sent a chill down her spine. What are you doing here, Ashley? Nikki demanded, her voice laced with venom. Are you here to cause trouble, like you always do? Ashley bristled at Nikki's accusation but forced herself to remain calm. I'm not here to cause trouble, Nikki, she said firmly. I'm here for my own reasons, and they have nothing to do with you or Victor. Nikki scoffed at her words, clearly unconvinced. We'll see about that, she said, her eyes narrowing in suspicion. But mark my words, Ashley, if you're here to cause trouble, you'll regret it. With that, Nikki stormed off, leaving Ashley feeling more unsettled than ever. It seemed that her presence in Fairview had stirred up more than just old memories. It had reignited old rivalries and opened old wounds that had never fully healed. As Ashley watched Nikki disappear into the crowd, she couldn't help but wonder what other surprises Fairview had in store for her. One thing was for certain, her journey was far from over, and she was determined to see it through to the end, no matter what obstacles stood in her way. And so, the sense of determination burning in her heart, Ashley set out to uncover the secrets that lay hidden beneath the surface of Fairview, knowing that the truth would inevitably lead her down a path she never could have imagined.